My name is Sydney and I am the owner of Ava Howard Designs, which is a small needlepoint design business. And today we're going to be talking about the 3 needlepoint stitches that you need to know to be able to confidently tackle any canvas. Whether you're new to needlepoint or just getting back from a break, these 3 stitches, Basketweave, Continental, and half cross, are the foundations of needlepoint. Truly, you can stitch any canvas at any mesh size and at any caliber if you have mastered these foundations. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got our canvas ready to learn on. This is a canvas that I'm working on sampling. You can see I've done some of the background already. This is one of our designs. And then I've got my little project bag over here with my threads, my scissors, and then I've also got a little needle. This is for a 13 mesh canvas. So the first beginner stitch we're going to learn is Basketweave. This is easily the stitch that I use the most when needlepointing. It's perfect for large background areas on canvases because it's highly durable. So if you want something to last a really long time, this is the perfect stitch. So specifically, I use it on pillows, keychains, belts, things of that nature. I often do the background in this stitch. So one thing to note about all of the stitches that we're gonna be doing today is that they all look identical from the front. And the best way to know whether or not you're doing this stitch correctly is to look at the back, because they all have a very distinctive back. So Basketweave specifically has this unique basket weave type of pattern on the back of the canvas once it's stitched. So that's a good way for you to double check as you're stitching that you're doing everything correctly. So let's get started and practice our basket weave stitch on a canvas. So in order to first stitch basket weave, you have to be able to read a canvas. So you will see that there are tons of little intersections across this canvas, but you'll notice that they're different in each way. So this one intersects horizontally, whereas this one intersects vertically. The horizontal intersections are known as steps, and the vertical intersections are known as poles. So we like to go down the poles and up the steps. So I will show you what that means in practice. Okay, so I have got my thread anchored, and if you need a refresher on how to do that, go check out my last video right here. And we are gonna start in the top right-hand corner with our first stitch. And as a reminder, we're gonna go down the poles and up the steps, down the poles and down the poles and up the steps. So this stitch is worked diagonally. So I'm gonna come up through here and do my first stitch. And this will become so much more clear once you get it going. It's that first starting part that's really confusing, to be honest. So I did my first tent stitch across. Now I'm going to come here. Okay, so I now have my thread anchored, and if you need a refresher on how to anchor your thread, you can check out my last video. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my first stitch in the top right-hand corner by coming up from the bottom and going across diagonally. So this basket weave stitch is worked diagonally, and when I was talking about the steps and the poles, it's to tell us which direction we're stitching based on that. So when we look to the left and the right of this first stitch, this is a pole. So we're going to go down the pole. So we're going to start right here on our pole, and then we've stitched the next pole, and that's kind of our first row, right? Now we're on to steps. So this next stitch right here is a step because it's going this way. So now I'm going to go up the steps. And by up, it's the direction I'm going diagonally up the steps all the way across. Oops. So then our next line will be pole. So we know we're gonna come down. And we just repeat that pattern all the way across. And once you kind of get going, then you know you're just going back and forth, and so it's a lot easier. But you need to know the steps and the poles so that when you're getting started or when you're picking your project up between stitches, you know which way you want to go to continue that basket weave pattern all the way across. Perfect. One last one. Oh, I keep hitting the camera, sorry. And so we will just continue that entire process all the way across our canvas. I'll cut my anchor once I get to it, but we will move our way all the way across until the entire background is filled in with thread, and that is basket weave. So I get a question a lot about what to do when once you've filled in the background and you kind of get to your first point where there's a change in color. This is my own personal sample that I've been working on, so I've already kind of filled in a good chunk of the background, and you've noticed that my last row, if you will, has officially hit that red spot where the in and 3 Wiseman starts. So what I would do now is I would start stitching as if this is its own new section, and I would come across like this if I was basket weaving, and then I would do the same going this way. So you're basically going to continue to basket weave. You just might do it in smaller chunks across the middle, you might do it in larger chunks across the top, and you might even throw a tent stitch in here to get into the lettering and everything. That is my approach to tackling a canvas. So the next stitch that we're gonna be doing is called Continental. This is, if you were to learn one stitch from this video, make it this one, because you can technically do Continental on any canvas in any area. It is the best beginner stitch, and it's often, if you take a class at a local needlepoint store, what you're taught first. It has a good durability to it, just like basket weave. The difference is that instead of stitching it diagonally, it will be stitched from right to left and then left to right. So you're going across the canvas instead of diagonal across the canvas. Similar to basket weave, the only way to know that you're stitching this correctly is to look at the back of the canvas. The back of the canvas looks a little bit different from basket weave, and if you see this pattern while doing these next steps, you'll know that you're on the right track. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got my needle threaded, and we're gonna start by anchoring our thread right over here, because we're gonna be starting in the right-hand corner and working our way across to the left. So I'm gonna anchor my thread over there, and then I'm gonna start by coming up right in the top right-hand corner. So I'm right below that top right corner stitch. And then I'm gonna go across diagonally down. And then my next stitch will be to the left of that. So coming up from this bottom, going across and back in. And then the next one, I'm gonna move one over, coming up, and then going across and back in. And now I'm gonna cut my little anchor thread off because the thread has been secured. And we're gonna come up to the next one, which will be right here, pull up and across. And so we're moving from right to left across the top of the design of that E. And then we're going to move, once we finish this row, from left to right back across. So we're gonna come up differently. So we're gonna come up from the top this time and go down across. So we're coming up from the top and coming down and across. And we're working our way across that letter, which is different from basket weave because basket weave is almost at an angle, right? We were working more at a diagonal left to right, and now we're working from right to left, left to right in a different way. Perfect. And that is the first start of Continental stitch. Now some of you are probably like, okay, how do I get over here? So we're gonna flip our canvas over and just anchor our thread and then move over to here. So I'll show you all that real quick. So this is the back of the canvas, and we wanna get back over to this side where the E is. So we're just going to run our little needle under here and pull it through. So now we're kind of anchored back over on this side, and then we're gonna flip the canvas over and come back up to the right side. Okay, so we just worked our way from left to right. So now we're gonna work our way from right to left and then left to right and all the way back down until we've completed the E. So we're gonna come up here and go diagonal and down. And then we're going to the left of that last stitch, the bottom, and going down. Now we're moving to the next row where we're gonna go left to right. So we're gonna come up on the top this time and diagonal across and down. Oh, I've almost lost my thread. Okay, it's gonna come down and across. Once you get more confident, you can go a little faster. And now we're gonna start the next row. So we're gonna go from right to left, coming up from the bottom, going across, and then to the one of the left of it. Just left to right, right to left. The biggest thing is knowing whether you're coming from the bottom across or the top down. And keeping those straight is the part that gets tricky. And so then you'll just keep going all the way until you have your E filled in and ready to go. And that is Continental stitch. Okay, our third and final stitch that we're gonna learn today is called half cross stitch. And candidly, this is my least favorite stitch that we'll be doing. Half cross is really great to know when you are running out of thread. So it has a low durability to it, so you don't wanna use it for large backgrounds. But let's say that you've stitched 90% of a canvas and you have 3 strands of thread left. You wanna make them go as far as possible. This is the way to do it. So just like basket weave and Continental, half cross looks different on the back of the canvas. you'll see that it almost has less thread. It's not as dense as the back of a Basketweave or Continental stitch. And that's also why the thread goes further, is because you're actually using less of it by the way you're stitching. So let's learn how to do half cross stitch and let's get started. We're going to be starting left and moving right and then right to left. Whereas with Continental, we started right and moved to left. So it's kind of the opposite in that regard. And I'm going to anchor my thread probably right here because we're going to be starting in the left-hand corner. So I want to work towards the knot. So we're going to start by coming from the bottom on the left-hand corner and then going across. And then we're going to move to the right of that, boop, 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 and go across again until we've come all the way across that top row, which is only 3 stitches. And now I'm going to cut my little anchor thread. And that is why you need embroidery scissors, is because they are the only ones that can get really good tight cuts like that. Okay, so now we're going, similar to Continental, we're gonna come up from the top and go down. So top, go across and down. The next row from the top, across and down. And then the next, okay. And now we're gonna be going left to right again. So we're gonna come from the bottom this time and go across and up, bottom, next to it, across and up, filling that in all the way and repeating each row. This is half cross. Thank you so much for watching today. That concludes our video of the 3 basic needlepoint stitches that you need to know to be able to tackle any canvas. If there are other tutorials or videos you want to see, please comment below and I'd be happy to do that. I'm going to be posting every Wednesday, so make sure to like and subscribe so that you're notified when the new videos are